Hi Aries, welcome to August. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I'm going to call in some good energy. So this month we have a new moon in Leo, which is favorable to your sign, and a second full moon in Aquarius, which is also favorable. It's a blue moon. This is the second full moon, so it's a blue moon. And Uranus goes retrograde this month, also on the 20th. Venus moves into Libra, Mercury moves into Virgo. But we'll talk about that later. Let's see what the cards say for Aries. What does Aries need to know about love for the month of August? Love relationships, love, romance. What is coming up for Aries for the month of August? What does Aries need to know for August 2021? Okay, let's see what we got. The King of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the King of Cups, the High Priestess, the Page of Wands, and the card underneath the deck is the King of Wands. That could be your energy, but it could also be someone else. So let's see. So we're starting out the month. You have the King of Swords here. You're doing a lot of thinking, a lot of deep thinking. King of Swords energy is about trying to separate what's real from what's not real. Maybe you're trying to find out what the truth is in a relationship. You have the Seven of Swords. And this is, you may feel like someone that you're involved with is not being honest with you or not being totally transparent. Because the Seven of Swords is kind of like a sneaky thief kind of energy. So you may be questioning the loyalty of someone, or you may feel like someone's telling you one thing to your face but saying something else behind your back. There's a sense of mistrust, and you're trying to figure it out. Because the King of Swords energy is about thinking and really considering, trying to be fair, trying to use logic to make a decision instead of using your emotions. Now, the King is facing the past, so this could be an issue that has already started. It could be a relationship that you're already involved in, not a new one. And you're just trying to figure out where do you stand or what do you need to do. You know, there's a lot of confusion. I feel like there's confusion. Or a decision needs to be made and you're trying to sort through the facts. Now, sometimes the Seven of Swords can represent not being honest with yourself. Or you're not facing the truth about something. You're sweeping something under the rug and you're not really dealing with it. Because it's in the crossed position. So this could work for or against you. And I think in this position, it's an obstacle with this card. So you're either trying to figure out, who can I trust? Can I believe what people are telling me? Or is there something I'm not seeing? Is there something that I don't want to deal with that I'm sweeping under the rug? Now, the Wheel of Fortune is here. So things are changing. You've had like a change in fortune. Possibly you're moving out of a toxic situation because you have the Five of Swords here. And the Nine of Pentacles, that's about financial security. You might even have some career success. We've got the Three of Pentacles coming up in the future, so there could be some successful things happening. But the Nine of Pentacles, this is a card of abundance, in a sense. Like, you know, this person enjoying their wealth, enjoying their abundance, but they're feeling lonely. So you may feel like, well, I've got a lot of things that are good in my life, but I feel like you might have an independent work situation, or you might have money coming in that, where you have a lot of freedom. You might be working in a career where you're not, you can set your own schedule, or you're like an independent contractor or an entrepreneur or something like that. Or you could just be having money, like living on a pension or something. I mean, but there's always a sense of, I mean, on the one hand, this represents, financial success, business success, but there's also a sense of loneliness connected to this card. Like I wish I had someone to share this with. It's great that I'm having this abundance, but I want to share it with someone. And you have this Queen of Pentacles coming up in the future. So now this could be someone that you're either interested in or dealing with or working with. The Queen of Pentacles, it could be an earth sign. So you could be dealing with a Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Or someone who's very down to earth, very creative, looking toward the future. She may sometimes doubt her ability, but she's very talented. So you could be connecting with someone who has a lot of talent, because the Three of Pentacles can also mean recognition, reward, success coming in the future. Could also be your success. Like I'm feeling that they're like surrounding these decisions that you have to be making about a relationship, whether you cut your losses and move on from a situation, because you have this Five of Swords energy where you feel, the Five of Swords energy is a card of feeling like that people are abusing you, or you're dealing with someone's hostility. You might be existing in a toxic environment. It's either, maybe a relationship that's not in your best interests, and you're just trying to decide, do I cut my losses and move on? Can I fix this? If I can fix it, I might, so you're trying to figure, should I stay and try and fix this, or should I just cut my losses and move on? Now, usually when the Five of Swords comes up, it means that you can't really change the person. So if you're having problems in a relationship with someone who's toxic, or someone who's like always angry or always accusing, like just this hostile energy, that's not going to change. So you have to accept someone for who they are, knowing that they have flaws, they have some limitations, and you can't change that. So it's like, okay, I either live with this person the way they are, accept all their, accept them, the good and the bad, let's put it that way, because no one's perfect. But if I can't live with the things I don't like about this relationship or this person, then I have to cut my losses and move on, because it's not going to change. And this could be someone in the wings, someone coming up in the future, because it's in a position where something is just developing. So it's not really happening yet. And so it could be, there's potential. It's kind of like at this stage of potential. And it could be that you're in some kind of relationship with someone, maybe in a career situation. It could be that you're meeting someone through your job or through the work that you do. And there's potential for success. And you might be working on a project that can become very successful. So it's like you're kind of in transition here, trying to decide, do I cut my losses and move on? Do I start something new? You're looking at your options. So there's a potential for a relationship with someone else. It could start out as a career-related relationship, career-based, where you're just working together. And it's too soon to tell where it's going to go, because you're still kind of in the energy of this toxic thing that you're trying to figure out. Do I stay or do I go? You have the King of Cups here in your environment. This is someone who, the King of Cups in the upright position is someone very compassionate, very caring, has a healing energy. So this person could be a counselor, a good friend that you could talk to, someone who's very creative, someone who's very compassionate, very emotional. But this king is also very sensitive. So you could be dealing, and this could be male or female, you could be dealing with someone who is very sensitive, and when they don't get their way, they get hostile. Or, because I'm seeing like there's this, these two kings are facing away from each other. So you could be in a relationship where you're not seeing eye to eye with someone, and you're trying to decide whether to stay or go. Do I cut my losses and move on? Because I feel like you're reaching a point where you're like, something's got to give. I've got to either fix this or I've got to leave it because you're tired of this person's drama. Yeah, because the cups, people who are in the negative side of the cups, they could be very dramatic, very manipulative, playing the victim. You have this High Priestess in your wish fulfillment sector. So this is telling me that you need to take some time out and really listen to your inner voice, because the High Priestess means there are things happening behind the scenes that you may not know about. So that could relate to the Seven of Swords energy, the sneaky energy. But it could also mean that you need to quiet your mind to think and let that inner voice, that intuition. So if you have a hunch about something or someone, it's probably true. So trust your inner voice. But things are going to be changing. And I think they're going to be changing for the better once you make your decision. And this is potential. This Queen is potential. And she's next to the Three of Pentacles. So I think you have a potential partnership coming up that starts out as a business or a career relationship. And it possibly could lead to something down the road. You also have this Page of Wands. And here's the King of Wands. This could be your energy. The King, because it's a fire sign. You could, the King is about being a leader. This King of Wands, and Aries is a leader. It's about stepping into a leadership role, taking charge, maybe helping someone in some kind of a mentorship, way. Because the King likes to give advice, likes to help. He could be he knows what to do. He's very out, not afraid to speak his mind. Sometimes he could be a little bit bossy, but for the most part, this King wants to help and wants to give good advice. And the Page is also a message coming in, a favorable message. So there could be, some good news coming around a relationship issue, that you feel like there's hope. But I feel like I really have this strong feeling of career success coming up with the Three of Pentacles. So I feel that, go with the flow. Take time out to really think about your choices. Figure out what you really want. And don't, sweep things under the rug. Face the truth. I think this month you have to face the truth. Whatever that is, for good or for bad. Whether it's, I really like this, love this relationship, I really want this relationship to work, I'm going to hang in there. Or, no, I can't go through this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I need to get out of a toxic situation. I need to cut my losses and move on. And whatever you decide, you have success coming in the future. You have the Three of Pentacles, which is, recognition, success, reward, and stability. The Pentacles represent stability. So there's financial success coming up, regardless of what you decide in the relationship. Things are changing. And so don't lose hope. Don't dwell too much on the past, except to learn from it. And don't, face the truth and make a decision. And you'll start to see things change. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So this new moon in Leo is in your fifth house of romance and creative projects and children. The fifth house is the house of romance, creative projects, children. It's conjunct Mercury. So, it's a wide kind of orb, but the moon is going to be, it's a fast-moving planet. So even though at the exact moment of the new moon, it's not conjunct Mercury, it will move to a conjunction later in the day or the next day. So Mercury is message, communication. And, and it kind of ties in with the cards with the message of the Page of Wands, because the pages usually represent messages. Now this moon is also squaring Uranus. So there could be some tension around, Uranus brings surprises. Uranus is in Taurus, and you never know. Like the second house has to do with money, things that you value, your self-esteem. So there could be some new beginning coming up. And in Leo, it has to do with being noticed, it's a new opportunity to be noticed, but in your fifth house, it could be a new opportunity, a new relationship, a new romance. It could even be a new project, a new creative project. But with the square to Uranus, there could be some tension that comes up around a financial situation. And you have Chiron is in Aries. Chiron is in your first house, and that's the wounded healer. It's trining this new moon. So you have a new beginning to present a new side of yourself and maybe go through some kind of healing. Maybe when you take time out to think and to, I feel like you could have a new beginning where you're healing some wounds about your self-esteem, about who you are, your identity. Because Leo is the ego, the sun. It's ruled by the sun. And the sun in astrology represents our ego. Who am I? And especially in your, with Chiron in the first house, maybe you're healing about, there's like some healing around how you present yourself to the world, how other people see you. There might even be healing around self-esteem issues. Am I worthy? Am I showing my best face to the world? Do I need healing in some level? If you do, counseling would really help. Venus at this new moon is in your sixth house, and it's opposing Neptune in the 12th. So it could be a very creative time when Venus when Venus makes aspects to Neptune. But there could also be confusion. Neptune can bring, the 12th house is the house of hidden enemies or how we self-sabotage. So with Neptune in your 12th house, there could be something you're not seeing, that you're overlooking around a work project, because the sixth house can be work, your day-to-day, activities on the job, your relationship with coworkers, but it could also represent health. So if you have any health issues, there could be some something with Venus. It could, maybe your diet. You need to cut down on sugar, or you need to watch. You're eating too much rich foods, because there has to be a balance. I feel like you have to come to some kind of balance in a work situation, in a health situation. You can't avoid. You might be self-sabotaging yourself through some of your diet. Maybe you're not eating healthy. Pluto is in Capricorn in your 10th house, and Venus is in Virgo, is going to be trining Pluto. So again, there could be some kind of intense relationship connection through the work that you do. It could be really intense and life-changing. When Pluto goes through your 10th house, it transforms your status in the world. It's like you're stepping into your power. And the feelings are very intense with Venus and Pluto. So beware, power struggles, manipulation around some work issue. Saturn is in your 11th house. That's the house of friendships, groups, wishes. It's in Aquarius, and it's trining the North Node in your 3rd house, in Gemini. So it's really important. Communication is going to be important this month. If to get what you want, you're going to have to communicate. And there could be some fated things happening around maybe your siblings or relative, like immediate family, brothers, sisters, because the 3rd house is brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, even friends, local friendships. There's something that needs to be communicated. Yeah, maybe you have to have a serious conversation with someone, or make a commitment, make some type of commitment. But communication is king at this new moon, because the new moon is conjunct Mercury, which also rules Gemini and your 3rd house of communication. So if you have something on your mind, it's a good time to speak up this month. If there's something that you need to communicate to someone to either work through difficulties in a relationship or to create a new one, because you have this whenever you have a new moon, it's a new opportunity, a new beginning, and it's in your 5th house, which is the house of creative self-expression, romance. So any of those topics, it's a good time for a new beginning. Even children, if you decide you want to reconnect with your children, if you have them, or want to have a child, that would be a good time to do it right after the new moon. So then we have the full moon in Aquarius, and that's at 29 degrees Aquarius. And that's happening in your 11th house, and the sun at 29 degrees Leo is in your 5th house. So something is completing at this full moon. And the sun at 29 degrees Leo is on the star Regulus. And that's like that's the star of the king, success, recognition, being in a, so whatever's completing around this time is bringing you recognition and glory. Like you're being seen as someone, you're being recognized this month at this full moon. And if it's a relationship issue or romance, you may finally, get something going between, because this new moon at 29, it's at 29 degrees Aquarius, is conjunct Jupiter, opportunity. This full moon is going to be really a good one, because Jupiter's involved. And Jupiter represents abundance, luck, expansion, optimism. So you can be feeling really, like, wow, I really like the way things are going. I'm whatever you started at the new moon gets answered at the full moon. So put your energy out there at this new moon in Leo. Like, what do I really want? Is it a relationship? Is it a creative project? A new job? Whatever it is, put it out there. You'll see results by the full moon. Again, Mercury is still in the 6th house. Mercury's in your 6th house, opposing Neptune in the 12th. So you still have these 6 and 12 issues. It's very psychological. So it's really a good time to communicate about anything that you've been keeping to yourself. If you really need to talk about something, talk to a counselor. Talk to someone you trust, someone who you respect. I think it would really help to get things out, to communicate, to, check out your, to look at what's going on in your subconscious, because the Neptune in the 12th house is strong, in Pisces especially. So it could either be that you're getting these inspired thoughts and you really want to do something, you have a lot of compassion, you want to do something spiritual, something creative. But if it's a health issue, it's usually psychological. So you may have some psychological issue that you need to talk about. And it would be a good time for healing. Now, Venus is in your 7th house at this full moon, and it's trining Saturn in your 11th house. When Venus trines Saturn, if you're starting something, the 7th house is the house of commitment, marriage. But it can mean a marriage or a relationship that could lead to marriage, that could get serious, because Saturn is, long term. It's serious. It's not flighty. Whatever you're starting, or whatever you're, doing around the time of this full moon, if it's a relationship, it's going to be in place for a long time. The 7th house is also could be a business partnership. So if you're not connecting with someone romantically, you could be connecting with someone in some type of career capacity, business relationship. And Venus trine Saturn is really good. Venus in Libra especially, trine Saturn in Aquarius, there'll be a lot of freedom and a lot of, intellectual discussion. There could be something involving technology. If you're meeting someone, you're going to be, it's not going to be just about physical, it'll be an intellectual connection as well. And let's see, what else? What else is happening? Saturn is also sextile Chiron in your 1st house, so you can really make some progress if there's any kind of healing that you need to do. Now's the time to speak up about it, to get to the root of it, because Saturn can help you overcome it, because it's trining. It's in a favorable aspect, so it's not showing up as a blockage. Saturn wants to help you. When Saturn is trining a planet, it brings stability, and it brings long-lasting effects, something that lasts a long time. So you could have some type of healing that lasts, that really makes a difference in your life, if you need it at this time. And if it's a relationship, it could be a relationship that leads to commitment, someone that you'll have in your life for a long time, something stable and solid. So you have really good aspects for love this month, Aries. If the only thing that may be blocking you is not wanting to look deeper. Look deeper and look beneath the surface. Don't sweep things under the rug. Speak up. But no one has to tell an Aries to go for something they want, because Aries you know what you want, you go for it. You don't procrastinate. So strike when the iron's hot this month. I know that's a cliche, but especially around the new moon. If you're wanting something, if you want to initiate something, do it at this new moon in Leo, and you'll be surprised how far you get. You can have enormous success and abundance, but you have to take action. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. If you'd like a private reading where we deal with just your specific situation, click on the link in the description box. It will take you to my website, and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, I want to just say thank you for supporting this channel. Everyone, thank you for commenting. If this reading resonated with you, please leave a comment, because I love to read the comments. And if you're new, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the videos and the readings. And just have a wonderful August, Aries. And I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.